Okay, I am back. So, I'm actually trying to catch up to where I was. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to stick with this portrait. I might. We'll see. She's kind of aware. I do like these pictures. They're all really good. She looks like she should be a priestess of Agma, but that's not in. It's not in. Maybe that one was made for the Forgotten Realms, because Agma is the god of knowledge in the Forgotten Realms. Okay, let's see. Where was I? Let's see. We were at Blood Rager. I was interested in Reform Fiend. That sounds really interesting. Let's see. Oh yeah, we did Cavalier. The Cavalier of the Paw sounded really cool. What's kind of cool about the Cavalier is you get an animal companion, which I think would be pretty cool. Okay, so let's go to Claire. Angel Fire Apostle. Angel Fire Apostles use powers of good to avoid violence when possible, and cleanse both maladies and evil creatures with blinding flames. Oh, he gets extra channel. Channeling is like a kind of a group heal. Crusaders serve the militant arm of the church, ready to stand guard over the region's holy places. I think I actually did play a Crusader in the beta. Devilbane Priest. Crusade Mind Cleric train. So you're Devilbane. And stop beta. Oh, and he wears heavy armor. So he gets a little less. So he gets a little bit less. A little more fighting and a little less casting. This was the one that was one of the characters that I think, because I think he had like really light armor. That's interesting. A cleric that specializes in summoning. It's like you're like a priest summoner. This would be a good idea for one of them. I have a kind of an interesting character idea for this one. I'm a big fan of Planescape, and I always kind of liked the Doomguard, which is it's actually a faction in Sigil, which is, and I know I'm talking Planescape, and I'm talking in a D&D realm in Pathfinder, but you could theoretically have Planescape in Pathfinder, because Planescape is just the planes. Anyway, I had like this great idea for a priest of entropy, but he's kind of he balances between good and evil, and he's kind of on the good. He was kind of a more good side person, but it looks like you can only be neutral in this. Druids. Blight Druid. Most druids must have neutral in their alignment. Be it neutral good, lawful neutral, chaotic neutral, you can be neutral evil. Actually, considering what's happening in this game, this is probably a good character to have, or I mean a good storyline character to have anyway. Because there's like this, well, I'll explain it later, but it's actually a good, an interesting one. Defender of the True World. Drovier, I don't know what that means. Animal companion, and I like the idea of an animal companion. It's kind of cool. Primal Druid. I've never really played a Druid. I think I've played a little bit of Druid in the Baldur's Gate beta, or I think it's actually more of an alpha. But okay, so fighter. Basically, you have weapons and your armor. You do everything. Aldori Defender. So they're duelists. It's kind of funny in the beta so far, and actually in Kingmaker, dueling swords are kind of like a special weapon. Like you actually have to be specialized in it. In 3rd edition, they made like bastard swords a specialty weapon. So if you're a regular fighter, you have to get an extra proficiency in bastard sword in order to use it. They enter single combat with Conjured Devil, and they either return victorious or die. Hell Knights are interesting because it's kind of interesting. Because what I kind of gathered from Hell Knights is that they're on the evil side. I've always thought they were kind of on the evil side. Hell Knight is actually it's down here is one of the specialty classes. Interesting. So you could be a Hell Knight, but you can be lawful good, lawful neutral, lawful evil. Any lawful alignment. But I'll get the specialty class here soon enough. Let's see, order. So you join an order, and I don't know. I guess you're kind of a squire. An armature is like a squire to these things. I'm gonna try to go somewhat quickly through these because there's so many. So if you have any questions, just let me know. You can, and we'll get it worked out. I'll answer whatever questions you have. Dragon hair, strength of arm. So there's actually a lot of classes that are like for people that are you're basically have some dragon blood in you. And I don't know. It's actually kind of funny because I think they kind of did that in D&D too a little bit. They didn't have this subclass or whatever, but they did have Dragonborn in D&D, which a lot of people like to play. So I guess this is kind of their way, since they don't have Dragonborn, that they essentially make you have a little. You can be whatever race you want and have draconic bloodline. That's interesting, and you get that at first level. What this is you can do an arcane strike, and it treats your weapon as a magical weapon when trying to damage creatures. There's certain creatures that are immune to normal weapons, or actually, it's not immune. It's you're resistant to normal weapons, or they're resistant to normal weapons. I mean, if you do like enough damage with one, like you hit with a two-handed sword, and it's just a regular two-handed sword, and you do I don't know, I think it's a D12 for two-handed sword. Is a D10, I forget. But let's say you got a critical hit, and you do like 20 points of damage. A lot of demons, and you'll be fighting a lot of demons in this. There's a lot of demons. I won't tell you what, but there will be a lot of demons. And some of them have like damage reduction of 5 or 10 or whatever. So if you do 20, you do damage to them, but just not as much as you'd normally do. Anyway, so that's kind of an interesting idea for a character. Mutation Warrior. Mutant baby, mutant baby, mutant baby. Sorry, that has to do with when I was playing Resident Evil Village. I was actually playing it and having people having some friends, a friend watch it, and I was referring to the mutant baby, mutant baby, mutant baby, mutant baby. Anyway, so let's see. It looks like you start off kind of like a fighter, then you get bravery, you get mutagen. So you get like looks like at 3rd level you can get a boost in one of the Oh, that's interesting. So it hikes up your powers, but it gives you a reduction in something. But it's kind of interesting because these are like abilities that you would want to have in a fighter. You'd want to have strength, constitution, dexterity, and a warrior doesn't need to have a whole load of intelligence. But I'm a little distracted. Anyway, Tower Shield Specialist. Let's look at that. Like I said, I'm going to try to go through this a little faster. So there's a Tower Shield that's really big. You can actually get one for. You can actually get a fighter feat to be able to use it. I think that you get some sort of extra skills and stuff with it because you use this big heavy tower shield. two-handed fighter. So these are guys that, and I could definitely get behind this because I love hitting things with a big ass sword, and that's basically what this is. I mean, either a two-handed axe or two-handed sword or something, and I guess they specialize in it. So you get two-handed weapon instead of your regular feet. Okay, let's go to Hunter. I don't know what you know what I find kind of funny is I don't what makes this different from a ranger? A ranger is usually a hunter. Yeah, it's just like you're basically a range specialist. Looks like Divine Hunter. Wandering Marksman. So, what's kind of funny is that the Hunter is a lot like a Ranger. I'm not exactly sure how much of a difference there is. I guess there's teamwork feats, and then there's animal aspect. And they wear less armor. Inquisitor. What's funny is I find it would be kind of weird to be an Inquisitor because typically an Inquisitor is, I mean, I guess they would be involved with fighting demons and stuff, but I always kind of imagined a Inquisitor to be like someone who like tries to make the heretics speak. I mean, these are interesting. I guess there's some sort of combination of divine magic and melee and range combat, but you don't wear as much armor. You don't wear as much armor. What do they usually? So light armor, and medium armor, and can wear a shield. Kineticists. One of the hardest. You are kind of a blaster. This guy, not kind of a blaster. It's not spells per se. I've never played one, but I usually like being either a fighter or a cleric or paladin of some sort usually. And this is where it gets even more confusing. There's magus. So we have the arcanist up here, which is basically a wizard. You have magus, who fights with a weapon in one hand and a spell in another. So I guess they're sort of a fighter wizard. Arcane rider. So I guess that's sort of a cavalier. You get an arcane mount and animal companion. That's interesting. Armored battle mage. They can wear medium armor, and I guess they get some magic. Learn and move and cast spells in even the most restrictive armors. And can special Eldritch Archer. That's kind of a cool class. I think they're. I mean, one of the first specialty classes that they had in third edition, I think, was like a taco. Um, I forget what it was called. I think it was called Mystical Archer or something like that. Anyhow, like I said, I'm gonna go through this a little bit quicker. Spell Dancer, Hexcrafter, Eldritch Scion. Spell Dancer, you gotta be an elf. So you gotta be an elf. That's interesting. I like the name Sword Saint. I do. That's kind of cool. Perfection of using a single weapon, which is usually but not always a sword. Very interesting. So you get one bow. You get. Oh, it's only a simple weapon. Oh no, it said swords. It said swords. I mean, can't really be a sword saint if you don't have a sword, right? Okay. Monks. Like I said, I've always been kind of interested in playing a monk. One of the players in one of the NPCs is a Zen archer, and he is really badass. He's really cool. Believe me, he will stay in my group because he's just deadly with that weapon. I mean, I forget how high a level I got. Was I like 9th level or something? I think. I don't remember. But he was like hitting 3 times and just blowing things away. There's also some good magical bows. You give him one of those, and he's just a nightmare. Unarmed strike, key power. So you get an armor class depending on your wisdom. So if you wanted to play a monk, you'd like him to have a high wisdom and a high dexterity. And then you'd probably get like there's a skill. I forget the name. I'll probably see it like later on, and I'll tell you about it. You'll get a skill that basically you do damage with a melee weapon like you do with dexterity instead of with strength. And that's probably a good thing to have. So, like I said, the quarterstaff master. Hoo-ya. I don't remember if there's any like good magical quarterstaffs. The only thing I don't like about a monk is I like having cool magical weapons, you know. And if you're a monk and mostly what you specialize in is having you're fighting with your fists and your kicks, you don't get cool magical weapons. You get there's some stuff that will allow you to, and as you get higher and higher, you can actually hit unarmed like a magical weapon, but it's not as cool as having a cool magical weapon that you can trade up on. And we probably will get up to level 20 in the Scaled Fist. Draconis Masters. So I guess kind of a draconic monk. Sensei. I don't think I'd want to play one of these. Not because I think it. Sensei is a teacher. Basically, all you. I mean, I would seem kind of be weird that I'm a sensei, but I'm out here and I'm fighting things. I'm not training people. I think I'm cool. I think I'm cool. So kind of a mounted. You're like a mounted monk. You ride a horse and then you kung fu. You do some kung fu fighting. And it looks like you can use like a lot of martial weapons in this. It's not too bad. Student of the Stone. So you have to be an Oread. So like this guy right here. I'll get to Oreads in a minute. This is kind of an Oread is kind of a planescape based race, but they're called something else. Traditional monk, and of course Zen archer. I don't really need to be a Zen archer when I've got a Zen archer. Oracle are divine spellcasters who have access to the most powerful divine magic. They can effectively heal. There's one that you'll get but you get some decent healers in this game. So I might actually lean towards a warrior, cavalier, or something. Possessed Oracle. I'm guessing that these oracles are less about fighting and just more about casting magic. So they really don't have a lot of simple weapon proficiency. That means really basic weapons like quarterstaff or like very minor. I forget. Let's see. There's a handful of simple weapons, but they're not that interesting. Revelation. So this kind of oracle isn't possessed by a god. He's possessed by a demon or spirit or something. Genesis. Wind Whisperer. Oracles don't interest me that much. Paladins do. I do like paladins. Divine Guardian. Most paladins need to be lawful good, and I think there's some exceptions to that. Let's see. So Divine Guardian is lawful good. Divine Hunter is lawful good. Divine Scion is awful good. Hospitaller. That's more of a healer. Murder. Stone Lord. I've got to think that that's an. Oh, it's a dwarf. I thought it's it would make sense to be a dwarf or an Oread. Wearer of the Holy Light. Some paladins use their gifts to focus the holy light that shines within their souls. Gifts of purity and redemption. These paladins spend much of their lives helping others to find a true path. Unleashing this power takes patience and a steep price. Again, I'm just kind of going over it a little bit. I kind of like this one a little bit. I might consider it. But let's get through all these. I might lean towards a War Priest, which is coming. Maybe I'll do some variation of a War Priest. And here's, of course, Rangers. I do like Rangers, actually. Demon Slayer. This would be definitely a good class for this game, because most of your enemies that you fight, not all of them, there's, but I mean, it's not really a spoiler to tell you that, but this has to do with, I mean, you're basically fighting demons in this game a lot. So there's like this in the world. There's like this world wound that has caused demons to spoil up out of it, and they take over the city, and you've got to try to fight it off and stuff. It's something we'll see. Expert. I'm not. I mean, if I were to play, I'd probably do Demon Slayer. Flame Warden. Kind of sounds like a Ranger Inquisitor or something. I'll burn you with the flames. A freebooter. Basically, you're a pirate. I mean, a freebooter is a pirate. But more of a leader of a pirate. Nomads. Stormwalker. Rangers usually fight with bows, but you know, there's some that fight with 2 weapons, or you know, like Dritz de Wharton. For those who don't know, that's he's like the Drow elf. Remember, I'm gonna keep saying Drow. No matter how many, if you say it the other way, I'm not gonna say it the other way. I'm that stubborn. I've never really been much of a rogue guy. Back in the day, when I used to play halflings, I would occasionally be fighter thief, but there's some magic in it, and I guess you can be a lot of these subclasses are kind of like multi-class that you can have. And what's funny is if you really wanted to, you could multi-class in these classes, but I don't see the point in it, because if you pick a class that you already want to multi-class, I don't know why you'd want to. I mean, maybe you do, but I don't need to have everything. I just need to have certain things that I like. Anyways, Shaman are divine spellcasters who have access to strongest spells of this type. What the hell does that mean? Can heal, control, or weaken foes. Playing a Shaman is pretty difficult, and not recommended for new players. I'm not necessarily a new player, but Shamans really don't sound that interesting to me. I mean, to me, I know people have like in D&D they're everyone has like a favorite, you know, a favorite class that they like to play, or favorite classes that you like to play. And while I like playing a clerical or war priest, like I said, I'm really interested in. I'm not so much shaman, or you know, I'm not so much. I don't usually when I play a war priest or whatever, I mostly use it to heal and fight. So I mean, if you want me to look at these, I can go back later and look at them. Scald. Holy crap! There's a demon dancer. Scald is a combination of furious fighter and empowering ally. They usually fight in melee, can employ a number of spells, can heal and empower the party. Battle rage. So you're kind of a barbarian A barbarian cleric? This might be interesting. I might consider this because I'll get to it in a second. Battle Skyon is a warrior poet. She is a warrior poet. So you're a bard. You're part bard. I always thought a skald was kind of a bardish type battle singer. Court poet, that doesn't interest me so much. Now, demon dancer does interest me. I actually wrote a, well, I finished it, but I never finished it. I created a novel, or wrote a novel, and I'd always kind of meant to finish editing it and all that, but I called it Demon Dancer, and it was in a parallel world where demons existed, and there was magic, and there's basically clerics of faith, but they were kind of clerics to God. I mean, I was kind of basing it off of cleric, like either being a cleric to God or being a cleric to the devil. And my character hunted demons, and that was his job, because the demons would come into the world, and his job was to kill them, and he was paid for it. It was it wasn't a fantasy world. It was more of a, I mean, there was magic, but there was modern items, and well, the twisted power of demon worshipping skulls is great. It comes as a terrible price, although actually now I'm reading it, so basically you're a demon. you're channeling demons, which I guess if you were playing a tiefling, bummer. I like the name. Obviously I like the name because of the name. I mean, Skald is still kind of interesting, but and I would just like to be called a demon dancer, but obviously I don't really want to. I like playing good guys. I play good guys, and I guess you could be a demon dancer and just channeling the power of demons and being good. Because I don't think there's any. I don't think there's any. There's any restriction in alignment that you could be. Skald is kind of interesting though, overall. Slayers can both fight in melee and range combat. Their main role is dealing large amounts of damage to enemies. However, their defense is rather weak. So, I am thinking this is sort of you're basically a warrior that is a thief when it comes to finding weak spots, and you sneak attack enemies and stuff. Spawn Slayer. Wow, I'm almost 40 minutes. I thought I would be done with the second half in 40 minutes, and I'm not even close. Not even close. So I'm going to speed up a little bit more. Sorcerers. kitsune. Gotta be kitsune. A kitsune is those fox creatures. I've never been that interested in sorcerers. War priest, champion of the faith. I think that was what I played before. Cult leader, disenchanter, feral champion, proclaimer. Wait a minute, isn't that a band? Isn't that the band that goes, if I would walk 500 miles? That one. Shield bearer. Witch. I find the one thing I think is so weird is that I haven't really studied in detail these classes, but it seems like there's so many that are like redundant. I mean, they're like I said, there's wizard, there's witch, there's arcanist, there's magus. I mean, the kineticist is definitely a different type of character, but I'm sure the difference is there's different. They'd have different talents and different skills. But like I said, it seems really redundant, and like the Oracle seems really redundant when it comes to priests. You could just make priest and then have Oracle be like a subclass of it or whatever. I don't know. Okay, so let's get to these are all these are specialty class or prestige classes. These are classes that you get if you can get to if you have the required prerequisites. So you start off as another class first, and then if you have 3 mobility, 5 persuasion, 3 knowledge, 3 perception, the skill dazzling display, weapon finesse. That's the one that uses dexterity over strength. Dueling sword. So, and I'm guessing that the Aldari, I think it was one of the fighter classes, right? Aldari Defender is probably the best class that you'd want to go into to get that. Student of War. It's kind of an easy one. And it doesn't look like, I mean, you have to get to a base attack bonus of 5, which you usually get it. I think if you're a fighter, you get to 5 pretty quick, like 3rd or 4th level. But I think anything else, you have to get the 5th level before anything. A duelist. Mystic's 3rd. Basically, you're kind of a magic-using cleric. So you have to have arcane and divine spells and lore and become one. Hell Knight, of course you need to be a hell. And you have 2 different Hell Knights, so just 2 variations. It's kind of funny. To be an assassin, you gotta be evil to be an assassin because you kill people. Dragon Disciple. This one's the only one that kind of interests me. If I wanted to play a dragon-blooded, but I think I'm probably leaning towards Oread or Azamar for race. Winter Witch. So you just kind of specialize in winter spells, I guess. I guess that could be effective against Blood of the Dragons. You see, this one could interest me. This one could interest me. I mean, I could make a fighter that becomes a dragon disciple. But you have to somehow you gotta almost be a sorcerer of some sort in order to get it, because you have to be able to cast spells. You need knowledge arcana. I mean, you can get those as a fighter, but it's much easier to get them as a sorcerer. Funny thing is it looks like you get big boosts in strength, constitution, intelligence. So fighting would be a good thing to have. I might try that. I might try that as a later date. Eldritch Knight's pretty cool too. You're kind of a fighter magic user, just kind of like the Dragon Disciple too. Is kind of a fighter magic user type. Anyway, let's just pick this and go to next and look at the races. So so you can pick human, which you know humans, and elves. I think there are racial heritage. So let's go to racial heritage. You have basic. You have Blightborn elves, which is kind of different. You don't get the immunities of elven magic, but you gain saving throws against necromancy and spell-like abilities. Lore Master. That's kind of interesting. This is a little different than most. That's really different than most elves, because there's usually like high elves and gray elves and gold. There've been all kinds of different elves, but they're usually some weird variation. So there's dwarves. And you know what dwarves are, and dwarves, kind of cool thing is you're proficient in some martial weapons, so if you're a cleric, you could still use battle axe. Barrow dwarf. So most of these are basically, you lose certain parts of the dwarf, but gain other parts of the dwarf. Gnome. Tiny gnomes. Basic pyromaniac. Almost make like a goblin. I could see a goblin being a pyromaniac too, but halflings. Craven. Doesn't get the halfling luck, but you get more. Oh, he's a little scaredy cat, and faster than most halflings. Most halflings have a 20 base speed. Or with the human it's 30. But if you play that one, you get 30. See, base speed at 20 feet. Half elves. Again, I wonder if, let's see. So this is more of a background for them instead of a different race or different type. So half orc, I think, has a racial heritage, human raised or tribal, which I'm guessing means orc raised. Asmars, I really love Asmars, I do. What's kind of funny is my favorite, what I always imagine my Asmar to be, is one that looks like a planetar, which is a Deva, and they're usually bald, like my bald ass, and they're green. They have just like emerald green skin, and I always imagined playing an Asmar with like that emerald green skin. There's actually a character in Planescape in in one of the books. There's this, and ironically, she was an evil. Um, God, I can't remember what her name was, and it was a her. Yeah, it was a her. Okay, so a deva is an angel. In third edition, there was this time where they were like, "Oh, we don't want to talk about demons and devils. We don't want to call them angels either. So let's call them devas or divas, whatever you want to call it." So basically, Emberkin, I forget what parries are. Agathons are like they're actually warrior class in the heavens. Um, they're kind of angelic, bestial aspects. So it almost sounds like Garudas. Or oh, there's Garudas right there. Okay, so I'm not paying attention. Azatas and Archons. Archons are another lawful good being. Um, Tieflings, Rakasha, which are evil. Asura spawns. That's interesting because Asuras in D&D were like chaotic, neutral type of things. Demodans. That's kind of funny. In Planescape, Demodans are called. I am blanking on the name. Let me look it up. or daemons. They were also called daemons. Yeah. Oh yeah, the daemons. Anyway, Planescape. I loved Planescape so much. I loved the idea of all these realms that you could go to, and you could also like. I always played like a Forgotten Realms type character, or like we were in the realms, but we'd go into Planescape and go to Sickle, or go to one of the gate towns, which I thought the gate towns were so cool because, well, anyway, why was Planescape discontinued? Because they hated it because they're a-holes, but you know, so in Planescape, the devils were called Batazu. The demons were called Tenari, and I think I'm not sure if they kept the term Demodan. But anyway, Devil Spawn, Oni, which is kind of funny because I think Oni is sort of a like a genie. Quiblith, Demon Spawn, Chitin. A Chitin is actually while not completely like it, you could kind of imagine that the Cenobites from Hellraiser are like Chitins. They have a lot of chains. Div Spawn. Okay. Orients. Okay, so in Planescape there was a race called Genasi, which are basically they elemental blooded. It was like, say, a genie or an Efreet or or I forget what the other. It's been a long time since I played D&D, like for real. I mean, but they're basically mortal-based elemental spawn, and so there were Earth Genasi, there's Fire Genasi, Air Genasi, and Water Genasi. And the funny thing is that Pathfinder actually has each of those races, but in the game all they got added was Oriids. I do forget what the other groups or things were called. This I will be able to pull up pretty quick. Maybe not. Because my initial... I think I'm getting... Oh, that's interesting. So there are Drow in this game, and there's Darrow. I always like Darrow. Okay. There's Ifrit, which are basically Fire Genasi. Oriids, which are Earth Genasi. There's Sylphs, which are Air Genasi. Undines, which are Water Genasi. So yeah. Anyway, I do find these guys kind of interesting. The only thing is they're kind of slow. Dampier are children of vampires birthed by human females. So if Dracula bangs you and gets you pregnant, you become a Dampier. Or, I mean, if your mom gets banged by a vampire and you're born, you're a Dampier. A Kitsune. Kitsune is a fox. Fox folk. What's funny is they kind of look like they kind of look like Rakasha, which are evil beings. Anyway, so God, it's really tough to choose. There are so many. There are so many choices to pick. I mean, Champion of Faith. Interesting. If I wanted to do like a mage, two-handed fighter's kind of cool. I like Paladin, a Crusader. I'm kind of leaning towards Crusader. One thing you can do is get the war domain, and then you get then you can use martial weapons. I don't think they use martial weapons by default, did they? And not heavy armor either. That's interesting. Cavaliers. Oh, I can't decide. There's, I guess I gotta get. I mean, I don't mean it as a. I mean it as Crusader. I want to wear heavy armor though. I really want to, because they do have some really good armor in this game. Cavalier's kind of good because you get an animal companion. Where the Holy Light? Stone Lord. Where the Holy Light? Amadei. The only thing is you get a paladin for your party. Priest. So the base war priest is pretty cool. There is a really good sword, at least if it remains in the game. I just cannot decide. Cannot decide. Cross-blooded. Wait a minute, what? So, come on, tell me what can they wear heavy armor? Can they? Looks like they don't wear heavy armor. Oh. Base attack bonus 0 plus 0. Like I said, it's so tough to decide. It's so tough. I'm kind of glad I didn't look at these. I didn't look at these. Oh, even Crusaders plus 0. I almost kind of want to do a Cavalier. I don't really want to be a mutant. I'm racist. I'm a racist against mutants. Where the Holy Light? Oh, I gotta be a dwarf. I was looking at the wrong thing. Stone Lord has gotta be a dwarf. And again, we and I would walk 500 miles. Okay, Champion of the Faith. I think I'll go with Champion of the Faith. I don't think I played that before. I played Crusader once in here, and I think I played. I don't know. I might have played Champion of the Faith because I dig Champion of the Faith. I may have just played basic War Priest too. Yeah, I'll go with Champion of the Faith. Okay, so I'm going to be an Aasimar. And let's go to Heritage. So, Aasimars get Wisdom and Charisma as their base race. If you're angel kin, you get strength and charisma. Intelligence charisma. Constitution charisma. Constitution wisdom. Dexterity charisma. Or dexterity wisdom. I don't really need to be fast, so I can roll Azada and Garuda out. Wisdom is kind of good for War Priest, although you'd almost want to have Constitution and Charisma, or Strength and Charisma, or Strength and Wisdom. I'm gonna go for this, and let me see if I can make my dude be. So this is the background. Let's just say he's got a noble background. Except these proficiency, I don't get any extra from proficiency, and I might as well min-max, right? I might as well min-max. Let's see. These are interesting. What is this? Where... Oh, that's interesting. You get. I didn't notice that. If you already have the proficiency, you get a +1 on top of it. It's kind of weird. It feels kind of warm in here, but I got it at 70. So I'll just turn fan on. Okay, so actually, I might want to go back and do. Oh, this would be interesting because if I wanted to, but let's go with this. Let's see. Yeah, I want to be a sword fighter. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it, Beavis! I'm pretty sure these weird names are like different regions of. Screw it. I'll go with this. You get cold resistance. I think as an Asmar, you already get resistance. I think in fire or electricity or something. So might as well let's go with this. Now, this is a point buy system, and these are the 3 stats you need the most in. And since I already get a bonus in charisma, I don't need any more in that. Let's go 12. Let's go 12 here. Let's go 12 here. Let's make this 18. Let's get more constitution, and we'll go with that. It's weird. I've been over an hour now. I want to finish the character creation at least. I'm almost done. And I ran through all the races really quick. Probably too quick, but like I said, any questions, just ask me. I'll do my best to answer them. It's funny, I almost want to have some intelligence because you get more skill points, but it's not like I need. persuasion is good for this, and you probably want to have religion since you're a priest. Let's see. So you get a feat at first level. That's pretty cool. Most fighter classes usually do. Although a fighter, I think, gets a couple. Now I'm gonna go with longsword here, mostly because I hope that longsword weapon that was in the beta is still there, because that was a pretty cool weapon, and I'd like to show it off. And I always pick her because longsword is her favorite weapon, and she has the war domain. It might not be that as significant for me because I want to be spontaneous cure. Did I get to alignment? I don't think I got to alignment, did I? So let's see. I think sorry, just answering something real quick. I think I'll just give myself. Wait a minute. It's saying, don't take these. But you get a weapon focus. So I think what it was telling me is that I shouldn't take a weapon focus as my feat. So let's go back to this. So let's do this. I give myself improved initiative. What that does is it gives you a +4 bonus to initiative. Then we'll go here to weapon focus and get longsword. And now alignment. I'm gonna go with good. Like I said, I like to play good aligned characters. And I think I'll go with the sun. And this is a decent one. I'll be neutral good. Now my appearance. Fortunately, there's not a lot of choices here. You got this face, you got this face, and you got this face. That's kind of a slimmer face than the other ones. Oh, that's body type. Sorry, body type. And since I'm really strong, I'll probably go with a heavier body type. Now the face. I really do want to go for the planetar look. Let's see. I guess you can give yourself scars or something. I don't really see it. It's too bad. I really wanted to. There's not really a choice for. There's not really a choice. Like I said, I'd love to do kind of the planetar look, but let's kind of go with pale. Now, do I want to go bald? Yeah, I think I do. Kind of make him look a little bit like me. My beard isn't that thick, but certainly not like that. It's probably A little bit more than that? Is there a little bit more than that? Nope. I'll just go with that. And then, let's see. Maybe I'll go with this. We'll do this. And since I'll kind of go with a green, kind of greenish hair, since I can't go with greenish skin. Let's see, my primary color, let's see. MOD is kind of the goddess of the sun. But I may go green, because I like green. What does this do?
I'm always ready.
These are funny. These are funny. Really funny.
Are you still here?
Are you still here?
Entertainment.
Someone else would make better use of this.
I feel faint. Our time has come.
Okay, let's go with that. I mean, he is a...
I need to concentrate.
I need to concentrate.
I have no need for this. You're done for.
I kind of like that one. Let's see. What do I want to name him? What do I name him? I'm gonna go. I always do this. I go with my birthday, which is 5/13. I'm not. At least in Pathfinder, there was an actual. You would when you hit that date in the Kingmaker, which is the original game. There was a. It would say happy birthday, you know, so it's kind of funny. And so I'm actually, I think I'm gonna go with the name that I was playing around with. I don't like. I wanted to be called Crisis, but I just realized that looks kind of like Cry, and I'm not really. I'm not a crybaby, motherfucker. Let's see. So, let's. Let's go with that. Let's do that. Let's do that. I mean, I just chose it. Damn it.
Adventures await.
So I'm strong. I'm con. I've got some wisdom there. I usually don't cast a lot of spells. I usually just heal. So, Sacred Weapon. This is really cool. I mean, this is pretty cool character sheet. My base armor class is 11. If I'm flat-footed, it's 10. You get a +1 to your dexterity, and that's if you're not wearing any armor. And I have 5. Oh, I have 5 resistance to acid, and I have 5 resistance to cold. And let's rock. I think I'm gonna save it at this point because I'm just gonna make this as part 2 of my character creation point. But I'll get to the. And then I might play a little bit longer and just make up a new. Actually, I think I'll just cut here, and then I'll just. Oh, here it comes. So you come in, you're injured. Yeah, just drop me on the floor,
Hey, somebody! We got a wounded fighter. Can we get a healer over here?
Anivia.
My, would you look at this? But why would you drag a wounded fighter into the middle of the festival square? Couldn't he be carted off somewhere else, like, oh, I don't know, an infirmary? Or an accommodating ditch?
Isn't he sweet? He's an Azamar, and he's actually an evil one.
Make room, everyone. Step back. Now, what's the matter? What happened to him? The wound looks nasty. Who did this to him?
Your mom.
Demons, Prelate. We found him barely alive outside the walls of Canabris.
And yes, I am a smartass, if you didn't know.
The walls, you say? Enemy doesn't usually stray so close to the city. Must fortify the defenses. And you, hold fast. Don't die. We'll see you right. We'll get you patched up now. But first, you there, guard. Take his weapons. Bearing arms is not permitted during the festival. Wounded or not, everyone must abide by the rules. He can get his things back after the festival. O Inheritor, leader of our troops, the sharpened edge of our blades and the unyielding strength of our armor, Iomade, I beseech you, grant your mercy. Heal his wounds. Hear, hear. That's the Crusader spirit.
We have the same deity.
My powers are not enough here. Someone call for Terendelev. You there. Yes, you. Stop dithering and gawping and make yourself useful. Go and get Terendelev.
Prelate, surely there is somebody else here better suited to running errands.
I'll get her! Terendelev! Has anyone seen Terendelev?
Be quick about it before it's too late. Now, who are you? Oh, Iomade saved me from green recruits. They come without planning, without preparation, and they die before they even see their first real battle. I don't know whether to laugh or cry at the utter waste of it all.
Oh, eat me.
My dear prelate, please, for the sake of the festivities, stop interrogating this poor man. He has been through enough already. Go on. I'll take care of him.
Okay, I think I'll stop right here because this goes a little bit further. Although I'm kind of enraptured because enraptured by it because the voice acting wasn't there in the beta, so it's pretty cool. I mean, it's the same dialogue basically, but hearing them speak is pretty cool. So I'm gonna stop here and I'll start up right where we left off.